Welcome in, everybody. My name is Dr. Jim Cellini. If my internet was internal fixation, it would be a lag screw, but no longer. My internet is fixed. I'm coming to you in uninterrupted fashion, and I look better than I've ever looked on the internet. I am your host of the Cellini Rounds podcast, episode 12. So I'm joined by my two younger brothers. The first needs no introduction. He's the master of the MRI. He is the North Star of the T2 star. He is the captain of the Rentgen. And he puts the DO and do not work here. Dr. Michael Cellini.
What the hell are you coming up for this?
Welcome in, Dr. Michael Cellini.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Glad to be here. Glad to be
You're
here.
very welcome. And we are joined by the youngest and most insignificant brother. He's the chief of the chest X-ray, the enema of the state. He swallows barium.
Enema of the state.
He puts the practice and malpractice and the DO. And again, please do not work here. It's Dr. Tom. Welcome in.
The practice and malpractice. Hey, happy to be here, everybody.
Yeah.
Jim, those teeth are looking white.
Yes, dental update. I got my teeth whitened 2 days ago. It was way worse than I thought it would be. But yeah, I'm enjoying my new smile and my new lease on life.
What was worse about it?
The worst part was just holding my face like spread apart like this. And they would take pictures of you like this. And I felt like a chalk outline, like on a crime scene as they took photos of me. Guys, I wanted to start off today's podcast by a little bit of sad news. Michael, okay, so you still are not enabling sharing.
I did enable sharing. It is.
Oh, here we go. So I just want you guys to know a little bit of sad news that Norman Mineta, transportation secretary who helped create the TSA, is now dead after reaching the ripe old age of 90. And I really hope that he had TSA pre-check on the way to heaven.
Oh, is that why you put that in there for that joke?
It's just that joke.
That's it.
Wow.
Do you think he was stopped at the pearly gates security?
Oh,
He was turned away for not having the check on his report.
did you really put that turn of it in there for that joke?
God, I was not expecting that one. We gotta be
All right,
honest with you.
guys.
I was like, is it some like medical tumor, like a glioblastoma, like we talked about last week? It's like, nope, has nothing, just old age.
Jeez.
That was
Jim with the
All right, so now that we've got all the jokes out of the way,
Get an A for
Michael,
effort.
thank you. Michael, what have you been up to over the last week?
I've been off this whole week, so it's been pretty good. What did I do this weekend? Yeah, not too much. It's a vacation week. What can I do? So as my brothers know, I took up a new hobby, or basically brought back an old hobby, and that is golfing. And I've become quickly obsessed with it. So I basically went out and bought new clubs, new everything, bag, putter, balls, etc. Went out golfing yesterday, going to play again tomorrow and again Sunday, 3 times this week because I'm off.
And I thought Tommy had free time.
And I mean, I'm off and I have a little staycation.
I have a question. Do you ever feel bad with how much free time you have? Do you feel
No,
guilty?
I feel great. But I actually occupy my free time. I don't just like
Has
sit
there
around.
ever been a person that feels bad about free time
know.
they get? Yeah, what kind of question was that? Have
I
you
know.
ever felt bad about having
He's
a vacation?
He's just trying to make me
sometimes I
feel bad.
do.
He's trying to make me feel
Sometimes.
bad. What? I never feel bad about a vacation.
No, he has to be lying.
Yeah, it's earned.
Really? Sometimes.
I mean, it's like you think I take a lot. I mean, I also worked like 14 or 15 days straight before this.
Yeah.
I don't
You know?
think that's true.
All
All right, Tommy,
the
what have
biggest
you been
hater
up to
ever.
over the? Tommy, what have you been up to over the last? And hating's my brand, but Tommy, go ahead, hit me.
I don't believe that. As if there's no way we could have worked 2 weeks straight. He's like,
I know.
My belief in life is that if you just don't believe anything anybody tells you, you'll be right 80% of the time.
well, I mean, that's a fact. He did work
So-
over the weekend.
The
Yeah.
expected
I made it
value of if I just don't believe things usually steers me in the right direction.
Yeah. Well,
I made it
yeah,
up. I
well,
made
we
it up.
hate you, Jim. Yeah.
And that also applies to Michael's reported golf store when he went out last weekend. But
First of all, that's no. It was a truthful
Michael-
score. I played by myself.
Michael's kicking balls into the fairway and be like, "Oh, that wasn't a stroke."
Nope.
Hey.
Not one time did I make up the score. And I even scored my first birdie ever, by the way. And that was a 100% realistic birdie.
Did you lose any balls?
Oh, yeah. A lot.
Wait, then how did you count those as like
Oh,
extra
100%.
strokes?
100%. I probably lost like 6 balls or so. I just like shanked one right into a construction site or like,
Wait,
but
how
most
did
balls.
you-
Michael, that's a penalty when you put the ball back.
Do you don't think I know that?
Okay, so you shot par accounting for that?
No, I shot a 91. How is it 91 par? The par was what? It was 71. How is that par?
I mean, we can talk about this off air more, but
Okay,
let's just say I have suspicions.
Jim, you can come down here and play with me. I don't care.
I mean,
So, I was actually thinking on the podcast that I would perhaps do a wager with you about your store next time I saw it.
That whatever, bring it on. Whatever you want to wager. Let's go.
He gets so
Let's
mad.
go.
oh, he does. He hates
No, because I
Okay.
actually won it because I want to play you and I want to wager.
it.
Well,
Wager.
I'm not as good as you at golf. Like, I'm not saying I'm better than you. I'm
That's
just
correct.
saying I want to set a handicap,
That's
and I
correct.
want to agree to a handicap, and then
Yeah.
watch you not make it.
I mean,
That's
you
what I
act
want
like
to
you act like a 21 handicap is good. That's not a good score.
That's a very good score for not playing a lot. Hitting
Yeah.
in the 90s is not
But
like
this is
a
not
tall
a
task.
this is a pretty
Okay.
easy course. I mean,
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
okay. That's
I
that's
can
okay.
picture this course in my head because I
Yeah.
played courses like this, and it's like I duff this drive, and it's like, well, I'm only
yeah,
like,
but it's still playable. Yeah,
yeah,
that's the
like
thing.
there's, yeah, it's still wide open. I'm on the
Yeah.
other fairway, but it's
Correct.
still like doesn't really
Correct.
change my shot.
Yeah,
So I can believe
Michael-
it. If this was like cobblestone, there's no shot you're getting under 100.
no, it wasn't like Augusta National. there.
Here, just to give everybody an idea of the course that he was playing on. This was,
It was a putt course. That's exactly
This is
what it was.
Michael four
this is
putting.
Michael right here.
I hate those putters, by the way.
These were the tees right here. Where
Yeah,
Mom
everyone
is,
hates
and
those
then-
putters. That's the idea. They're cheap and crappy.
Wait, do you know that I used to bring my,
Michael
my
goes, I hate those putters.
All right,
used to
sorry.
bring-
All right, wait, let's stop rambling.
Okay,
about
stop.
golf.
Okay,
Let's
stop.
keep going with the topics for a second. Tommy, what did you do for the last week?
I moved this weekend, basically Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Well, I worked Monday and Tuesday, but we moved into a new apartment. Same apartment complex, just a new apartment, which make the second time I moved within the apartment complex. No, I
You got an
mentioned-
amazing background. You win the background contest.
Yeah, I got
a
The
great
exposed
background.
brick, the lamp, the little rug that hangs up and looks artistic.
Yeah, that's all Caitlin's
Beautiful,
doing.
beautiful.
Shout out to Caitlin. She literally has been setting it up all day, like the past 3 days. So
Right. It's
like-
very like early 30s professional. We're getting there, but we're not quite like rich yet. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
very, very good style.
like the furniture is still hand me down and like aftermarket stuff. So it's not like nice furniture, but you're like, wow, this is pretty nice, well put together
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, it's a nice.
gonna
I
have a
like the
bar
exposed
cart.
brick. Yeah,
Oh, it's
that's
great. This is the
that's a
extra
good looking
bedroom.
spot.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
So
can't wait.
you didn't get sick, and you didn't do nothing for
Yeah.
a week.
no dysentery and no nothing. So
Nice.
so it's I
Strong.
consider that
Very good.
a win in the
Strong
Cellini-
word.
I couldn't be criticized this week on the Cellini group chat. Let's put it
And
that
you got
way.
a haircut too. So I mean,
and I got a haircut. Yeah,
things are looking up for you.
it's a good day.
Wow.
I'm no
Man.
longer worthless. Ah.
Yeah, God.
All right, cool. So, guys, I have a few topics of discussion for today. So, in entertainment news, and I'll get to why I wanted to mention this on our podcast. Dave Chappelle was doing some stand-up comedy for which he is known for, and he apparently was attacked by someone in the audience who rushed the stage and may or may not have had like a weapon on him. There's reports that he was armed. It said the suspect who tackled Chappelle. So he was bum rushed by this guy, tackled. He was armed with a replica gun, which thank you, NBC News. It looks like a gun, but is actually a knife. Thank you for explaining what a replica gun is.
Ah, yes. Now I understand.
Yeah. So
Okay. I thought it was a
apparently
real.
this guy got really messed up. Let's take a look in. This is him leaving the scene. And if you guys had to guess, what
Oof.
What type of injury? Like, he looks like Tom Segura after he tried to dunk.
Dude,
He does.
I saw a tweet. I did see a tweet in reference to this. They go, man, that guy got Segura'd.
Yeah. So, I don't want to make light if this guy's got mental illness or anything like that going on. I don't want to make.
Yeah.
light
Do
of
we
that.
know anything
Seriously,
about him,
so.
or no? It's just random.
No,
person.
I don't know anything about him. But what do you think happened to his arm there? Like, is it like a humeral fracture?
Yeah.
Is
It
what you
looks like
think, or what?
Yeah.
probably like a displaced spiral fracture of the humerus there, because it's rotated.
the
His whole arm is rotated.
Or like,
Right. It's like a spiral fracture.
yeah.
or like some fracture dislocation, supracondylar fracture, or something like that, where it's like,
Yeah.
it's kind of flipped over.
So just so the people watching, the humerus is here. I'm circling it, and for the people listening, the humerus is the bone between your shoulder and elbow.
Or is his shoulder dislocated?
probably.
Yeah, that looks like
Yeah.
that's like Mel Gibson and Lethal Weapon. You got to slam it against a tree.
I'm guessing they probably, when they bum rushed him, and I saw a video of him like being chased around the stage, and I'm sure when like 10 or 11, there were like 11 guys tackled him, and I'm sure these big dudes probably landed on top of him for one.
Yeah,
So
these
he
security guys are huge.
Yeah,
Oh,
so he
yeah.
probably broke a ton of ribs, and then maybe he was trying to resist, and they probably grabbed his arm so hard it probably dislocated and
yeah.
broke.
Or they like tackled him, landed on him. Something
Yeah,
like
I mean,
that.
I can just imagine the kind of injuries this guy, just pure brutal force or brute force from the security guard. Those guys are strong, man.
Yeah,
Oh.
and it was multiple.
They'll
I
throw
mean,
it-
they're all like linemen. They're like, I
Yeah.
played D1 college football, and it's like the
They're
guys that won
so-
the NFL draft.
Yeah, they're so strong. And you know what's funny is, on the same topic, I worked out with this dude who I feel like he must have been an ex like college football player or whatever. He makes me look small. He's probably like 6'6", like 280 or something. But he joined the same gym I do, and we were partners the other day. And this guy was just, the strength that some of these guys have is just, they without like really trying, they can just move objects. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. It's
There's got
unbelievable.
Mass and inertia behind him.
I'm like, I feel like this guy could just take me, pick me up, and like put me down, or like take me and just be like, get out of here. It's just
I will say, I always hated working out with dudes like that, or you get partnered with them in a gym, and they'll be like, "Oh, we'll do this," and you're like, "I'm gonna do a considerably less amount of weight than you." But like, can we
Yeah.
not do this like
Yeah.
thing where it's like, "Oh man, I'll motivate you." I'm like, I'm not trying to throw out my back, please.
Yeah. So apparently a lot of people are saying that this is a sequela, if you will, of the Will Smith incident. And
Right.
I bet you that people are going to start, but you're going to start seeing this more and more often.
I don't
You
think,
think?
they're. I think
I
it's
think
just.
so.
I
I don't
they're
think it's a
isolated
coincidence.
instances. Really?
I don't think so.
I think it
so.
is. I don't think people are generally like, let me run. I don't think they see Will Smith or like.
I
Will
think there's
Smith can do
there's
it,
two
so I can do
reasons.
it.
There's two reasons why you're going to see more of this. One, everybody's going to be looking for it now and reporting it. So
Well,
the
yeah.
sensitivity of
True.
the testing is going to go up. And two, I think people are going to start coming out of the woodwork and getting like inspired, jokerized, if you will.
But like people say that about, it's just like the more you see of it, even if it happens at the same rate as it did before, people are gonna be like, well, it's because of Will Smith.
But also, this has been happening for
Yeah.
a while now. I mean, we
So
like we always
I
say,
wanted to.
No, I was saying, like we always say, we follow comedy pretty closely, and we see a lot of people that rush the stage. It's just not very widely reported.
Yeah.
Yeah. So our uncle owns and runs and founded one of the biggest comedy clubs in Atlanta, like one of the OG comedy clubs called the Punchline. I worked there in college, and I saw this happen one time. Somebody ran on the stage, and the person that it was the local weatherman for the CBS news station.
What?
His name was Ken something, and
Ken Burns?
I forget. I forgot who the not Ken Burns. I forgot who the comedian was, but the guy thought that it would be cool if he just went up on stage and like took the mic, walked in front of him, and just started talking and saying, "Hey guys," and like pretending to do the weather. And the comedian was
What?
beyond pissed. Like the guy was saying every swear word known to mankind, and he literally like shoved him off the stage to get the F out of here.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
People do weird
That was-
things like that at
the
comedy
guy,
shows.
I mean, the guy was totally wasted.
I mean, he had to be
Right.
rip roaring wasted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So
I will say,
think-
did you see Chris Rock? I think he was at the show, and he goes, was that Will Smith? When he got back up on stage?
yeah.
No,
Hilarious, by the way.
This is
Hilarious.
Apparently there's footage of this guy getting, let's just call it, dealt with by Dave Chappelle security.
I mean, Dave Chappelle has a pretty big security entourage with him all the time too. Like his details. Look, I see some boots.
Yeah, I see some swinging legs.
Looks like some WWE style stuff there.
Yeah,
Just like stomping. Jeez.
I mean, I will say, to like not be too mean, it's like this guy may have mental health issues, which would be a travesty, but
yeah,
it's kind of unfortunate.
That's what I was going to get into. I think there's a fine line between like taking care of business and like going way over the edge and just like completely messing this guy up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's
And
like,
I don't know if that line was crossed, but just bringing it up.
That's the thing is what is the line? Like, what is the line that the security have? Can they just go endless? I mean, I get what's their barrier? Like, what's the line?
They get beaten up too bad. Like, isn't that assault effectively?
Yeah, like I don't know. Is it though? Because
even if you instigated like I guess when you have the replica gun, which is a fake gun for those out there who don't know what the word replica means, but like I think if you have that gun, maybe it's obviously we're not lawyers, but it's like some sort of workaround with that situation. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they can just spin off that.
Yeah, and be like, well, he was assault, so it's like self-defense kind of stuff. It's a weird situation.
Because in my non-lawyer brain, I think of the guy attacked Dave Chappelle, the security guys detained him, and therefore it should stop there. You know what I mean? Like there's no need for the excessive force and
I think there's going to be a counter lawsuit.
Probably.
Because somebody's going to volunteer to represent this guy. And I don't know, it might be Elon Musk because apparently he was at the show too. I heard he's been doing some stuff the last couple of weeks. I don't know.
He's been in the news a little bit.
Yeah. So, all right. So that is an interesting story that we'll pay attention to in the coming days and see what develops. Let's see. The other story I wanted to get to today. So a new study came out, published from NortonHealthcare.com, that the risks of low birth weight, preterm birth, and other complications are enough for OBGYNs to counsel against smoking weed while pregnant.
Wow.
An article was published in JAMA. We have ours is called JAVMA, but you guys call it JAMA, I think. JAMA, something like that.
Makes sense.
But smoking weed can increase the risk of all of those things that are obviously not good. The THC will pass through your system to your baby and may harm your baby's development. So if you're planning on getting pregnant, stop smoking weed. More research is needed and all that. But here are some possible risks that they list to the fetus. So here you go. I wanted to bring this up because I'm sick and tired of hearing about marijuana and CBD being this like panacea for everything and being completely without harm. Because first of all, you can't tell me that like inhaling smoke is somehow like good for you.
Right.
And the way all these people, like when they smoke weed like every day constantly, like, yeah, I mean, that's probably way cleaner than tobacco smoke and cigarettes because there's no like toxins necessarily in it. But at the end of the day, it's smoke.
Yeah.
You're inhaling smoke, right? It's just smoke with a different chemical in it that comes from a plant. So anyway, I thought this article was interesting because, and I hope that we start to see with more research into like medical marijuana or just recreational marijuana, that there's actually like harmful side effects. And to be clear, by no means am I like, I think marijuana should be legal federally like it is, or just got changed. And I think it should be completely available. But I just think there's a discrepancy between being available and the legality of it. And then just thinking that it's just this thing that helps everybody. Like I said, a panacea sort of thing.
It falls in the same category as alcohol and like, well, I guess. So I'm very like pro the legalization of marijuana just for the sake of, I think after seeing people as like an intern and like, I mean, Michael, I'm sure you remember this. It's like every single day I'd get admissions from the ED with something that was alcohol related, whether it was like intoxication, like withdrawal symptoms or like cirrhosis, stuff like that. There's tons of issues with alcohol. And then it's like weed, you really don't really get that many hospital admissions. So it's like, if we're going to compare apples to apples, it's like all these things that we consume, it's like if one thing doesn't hurt us as bad, but I agree. It's like there's not a lot of research based on like what is bad about putting inhaled smoke. Whereas we know like you get smoked meats lead to increased incidence of like esophageal cancers and gastric cancers. And it's like cultures that eat smoked meats have a higher incidence of those cancers. Like Japanese, I think it's like a higher incidence. But it's like there has to be some world where like inhaling even wood or like some, even if it's a plant, like it's not great for you to inhale into your lungs when you're like smog in the atmosphere. Like it's all kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I've always said this, John. I'm glad you brought that up because I remember specifically on, again, I feel the exact same way with all you guys. I think it should be legalized. I think the person, if they want to do whatever they want with marijuana, THC, whatever, I think it should be legal. And the fact that we have alcohol legal and now we're just getting to, marijuana just became legal to where you can buy in New Jersey 2 days ago, I think here. So, and alcohol has far worse effects on the body than what we know of marijuana to be. So, I mean, it doesn't really make much sense. I mean, my whole specialty is I dealt with cirrhotic patients mostly from alcoholism.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot like the majority of the stuff you deal with is like cirrhosis.
Most of my patients
HCC,
are
cirrhosis,
cirrhotic, from alcohol abuse. And so back to marijuana though, so I remember on Joe Rogan podcast, he would smoke a lot. He's a big proponent of marijuana, obviously. And he would smoke and he'd be like, yeah, it irritates your lungs, but in a good way. And I'm like, at the same time, like you were saying, Jim,
I wish we could find that episode.
I know it was probably a couple of years ago. And he was like, yeah, he's like, it irritates your lungs, but it helps you cough up stuff. And I'm like, yeah, because it's irritating your airways. And that's why it's making you cough. Like,
it's causing inflammation of your
bronchi. There's not like the marijuana smoke. It's actually smoke, just like vaping. It has some chemicals.
No. The COVID pneumonia is good because it's having you expel toxins through coughing.
I mean, so you're irritating your airways. You can't tell me that the marijuana smoke is better at irritating your airways than not irritating your airways. So, now obviously it's not. It may be better for you than cigarette smoke, which is full of chemicals and harmful toxins.
Or like an opposite to like the opioid pandemic. Like clearly marijuana is not as bad as opiates. Like,
but just because
like
it's not
addiction.
Just because it's not as bad doesn't mean there are no harmful effects.
So that's risk-free.
That's the difference.
Right. So this was the study in case people want to look at it. So I just wanted to share the screen here. This is published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, JAMA.
Was this study specifically targeting? Because this is the difference between I think smoking marijuana and then
there's a meta-analysis of 16 studies.
Okay, did they find that like THC though versus?
So let's see. They looked at maternal marijuana exposure during pregnancy, and let's see data sources. So meta study. So they combined a bunch of studies and they got about 60,000 patients, which is about 60,000 more than you see in every vet study. Not that I'm bitter about study size or anything. Let's see. Let me get into this. The introduction, the methods. Inclusion criteria included interventional and observational studies that included pregnant women exposed to marijuana compared with pregnant women who were not exposed and that reported any of our selected neonatal outcomes. So basically like either being normal versus having various types of, birth complications and neonatal issues. So it was a meta analysis. So that all the studies were different types of studies. So like they say some are case controlled, cohort, cross-sectional, all different types.
I thought I saw something too. It's like it mentioned edibles that were also a contributor, which would lead to the idea that like it's the THC, not just inhaling of smoke.
But that's what the let's see.
But also, I mean, I can't imagine smoking of any substance be good while pregnant.
No,
you know what I mean? Like to my mind, like even if we don't have studies saying that marijuana smoke is bad during pregnancy, I still wouldn't recommend it. You know what I mean?
Even if it's harmless, there's no downside to not doing it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I can't be hurt if I don't do it. I may not get the benefit of something, but it's like it's not going to hurt me by not doing something.
Again, this is coming from people who have nothing against marijuana whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like 3 doctors who don't care about marijuana, but I just, it's all about the factual data.
Yeah.
That's what it all comes down to.
I actually remember the only time I ever got someone admitted to the hospital when I was an intern for like marijuana related stuff was I had 2 people get on my service that were like was it cannabis hyperemesis syndrome?
Yeah,
Where you basically just get cyclical vomiting, but it's only like specific people get that. So it's like if you're one of those people that gets it, you just can't smoke weed, you can't partake in cannabis, and it's like, oh, if you just stop, it goes away and it's fine. There's no like long-term effects. And I remember this. One of the people came in 3 different times, and another person was just a separate case. I was like, you'd like the answer is just to stop smoking the weed.
Yeah,
you should just not do it, and that's also a viable option. And they came in again, and I was like, what are you doing here? Like,
it's like having a food allergy.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's like
exactly
if
what
you're
it
allergic
is.
to peanut butter, like stop eating peanut butter. Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing?
Yeah, and Tommy, they say right here in the discussion, they say at this time there are no data. Let's see if I can highlight it. This time there are no data to differentiate smoking itself versus ingestion of the cannabinoids as the main factor associated with the increase in adverse events to our knowledge.
Okay.
So I don't think they drilled that far into it.
All
So
right. It's not much use to study, but a good discussion nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, unless you have a medical use for it, I mean, I can't imagine why, it would be a value add to do that. While doing pregnant, but I don't know. I'm not an expert, but that's what the research.
Neither am I, but
yes. All right. Moving on to our next topic, Michael. You might be leading the charge here because this is from your hometown. But
New York City, Manhattan,
yeah,
or Kennesaw, Georgia. I have 2 hometowns.
Let's see. In your hometown,
I like when Jim puts together all these things.
The Met Gala is happening.
Hey,
the red carpet, celebrities, and more. I don't know what you could ask for more than red carpet and celebrities, but
my 2 favorite things.
So yeah. So first of all, I hate everything related to celebrities and everything this is about. So I'm just going to start there. I wanted to bring up the Met Gala because it brings up an important issue that I remember. I think you, Michael, were telling me this a while ago when there's a celebrity in the hospital. They actually get like VIP treatment in hospitals. And I don't know, Tommy, if you've been experienced this before or known. I mean, we don't have to name the celebrity because it's like
name the specific time they were in the hospital, that hospital, and the name of that person.
Yeah. But I've heard this from other people I know too, but I wanted to bring this topic up that like celebrities actually get preferential treatment when they're in the hospital. Like they get walled off, they get to a private area, they get like secluded away from the general populace.
Yeah, I don't know if
you guys seen this or.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it, Tommy, in Chicago, and I actually haven't seen it anywhere other than Manhattan. But as to my knowledge, almost every hospital in Manhattan has separate floors for not only celebrities but anybody who wishes to be treated, differently in their own, like maybe they need like a suite or
like VIPs.
Yeah, VIP treatment. And usually there are floors or wings of the hospital dedicated to this. And it's like an out-of-pocket expense in which, you get your own room, you may have your own nurse, you may have, certain meals or whatnot. I'm not sure the specifics, but it's definitely a thing. And it's one of those things. And I've only ever seen it in Manhattan, to be honest with you. Have you seen it, Tommy?
So I've never encountered it myself or like been around that, obviously, because it's like there's no such thing as VIPs in the world of radiology, because it's like study comes across the screen, it's like this might as well be any person on the universe. It's like whatever. But I've heard stories. I've had friends that have done residencies in like California, LA specifically, and they'll be working like OB-GYN or something in LA, and they'll deliver like a famous person's baby, just being at like a hospital and stuff like that. I know it's like I know our hospital has like VIP stuff like that, but I think it's mostly like really rich people that pay for like a ton of like a private room and floor just separately out of pocket.
Right.
Like it's still, is an option to be like, oh, I have $1 billion. Like I'm going to spend 50, like, or $1 million just to have a floor to myself and not be bothered and have my own personal like nursing staff.
Yeah, it's basically just the ability to stay at a 5-star resort, but in, hospital fashion.
Yeah. I've heard of like doctors like setting like very high-end doctors and stuff like that around the city of Chicago. They like put their patients up in like hotels and have like nursing staffs at these like 5-star hotels.
Really?
I don't know if that's like an urban legend, but I've heard of that where it's like instead of having like VIP at the hospital, they're like, oh, we just like we do whatever we're doing, surgery, whatever, and you stay at like some rented out apartment basically and pay for it. And then it's like you're being treated at that place with like
That's
around the
interesting.
care.
Yeah, I mean,
Sign me up for that.
seriously, and just so everybody's aware, and this isn't HIPAA stuff. So a lot of times, what happens when you have celebrities or whatnot at your hospital is, a lot of times, I found out that a celebrity was at the hospital I was working at. Was you walked outside and there's literally just like news crews everywhere, and they're like,
Yeah.
when is he or she coming? What are they doing? How are they? And like they're like, it's public knowledge, so it's not like we're not sharing anything that people don't know.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times.
None of these are my patients. I've never.
Yeah, me either.
This is all
None
just hearsay I've heard from like being in the medical community for 7 years.
Let me tell you,
8 years,
no resident is taken care of, or intern is
No.
taken care of. A VIP
But
client.
that in and of itself is messed up.
Correct. So, and that's also the case too. So basically, and that's how I first learned about this stuff. Was I walked outside one day and I just see camera crews outside of the hospital, and I'm like, okay, what's happening here? Does something happen? They're like, oh no, just celebrity is giving birth, or celebrity is here, blah blah blah. But those floors, and a lot of, so break it down even further. A lot of people don't know that in Manhattan, we obviously have a lack of space, and I don't live there anymore, so I don't know why I say we, but
because you're
there's a
from
lack
there
of
originally.
yeah, there's a
God.
there's a lack of
Unreal.
space, which is also something new that I wasn't used to, because everybody had their own room at every other hospital I worked at outside of Manhattan. But in Manhattan, there's 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 people in a room. They share the same room with just curtains, because there's not much space in Manhattan. And if you want to not have a shared communal space with 7 people, all post-operative, with one bathroom, then you have to pay a little extra coin and you get your own room, your own suite.
Oh, man. I gotta be honest. I used to, when patients would like share rooms and stuff like that, I'd be like, it's okay. Like, don't worry about it. But after, like, when I'm sick, I want nothing to do with anyone. I
Exactly.
want to like curl up in a ball in a corner. So I know if I was like this past weekend or a couple weeks ago when I was sick, if I was sitting in a room with someone else, I'd be like, please leave now. Like, get out of here.
So that's what you gotta ask yourself too, is, so if you're sick, say you're recovering from like a major operation, and the person next to you is like, I don't know, in there for something, no operation, and they're just
GI
in there-
bleed.
yeah, like GI bleed, something that doesn't require like an operation or anything. And 15 family members are in there talking all night till like 2 a.m. and you're just trying to recover from your
Oh.
major surgery, and you're just like, oh, please
You're
just
like,
let me recover.
Yeah. You're like,
That's
take it
where
off
I'm like, if I was rich, I would be like, no problem,
yeah, sign me up for that.
Right.
But
Yeah, if
is
I
it
flew here on a
ethical?
private jet, I'd be doing that.
Yeah.
Do
Is
you
it
think?
ethical?
Do you think that
Yeah.
one day they'll have like a TSA pre-check for medicine?
I want to doubt it.
Yeah, I don't know. If it pays, yeah. But if it doesn't, someone has to benefit from it,
I was gonna
Oops.
say, if you could tack it onto your insurance and do like an extra $300 a month
Ooh.
for like a premium membership to your insurance.
Well,
and
they
then you
kind of
start
have
getting,
that,
like,
Yeah.
right?
start getting like
you could-
lounges and stuff for the hospital.
lounges. Although the hospital food and everything would probably be terrible.
Better
But-
food.
Yeah, but I think if
How
you
about some soggy fried chicken?
if you tacked on an extra, that's actually a brilliant idea, Jim. If you tacked on an extra charge, like your insurance company, and it would pay,
Right.
but they
Right.
also do, like,
status. It's like
yeah.
health status.
Yeah.
but I don't know if that's it. Do you want health status? That means you're a frequent
Yeah.
flyer.
Probably
in the
not.
Hospital.
Yeah.
But
There's probably some like law against this.
You
If you're,
accumulate-
if you're in the
Hold on,
audience
Tommy.
and you're a lawyer, put a comment down below. Let us know if
Yeah.
there's like a law against this or
yeah,
You,
it's just
you can accumulate points like the more sick you are and like the more serious your illness is. And you're like a gold platinum member.
God. Yeah, I wonder if that's I don't know if that's a
Gold
good thing to
platinum.
have status at the hospital. I think that's the
Like I'm
last thing I
platinum.
want.
This is my 5th stroke this year.
Yeah, I think
oh,
the
look at you,
more status you have, the more unhealthy you are.
Mr. Johnson.
it?
Is that your 3rd TIA of the year? You get an
Well,
upgrade.
you just hit platinum.
You get
that'd
an
be
extra
terrible.
fast CT scan.
Yeah, that'd be terrible. But I mean, but there's concierge medicine though, So
Yeah.
if you want to pay a premium to have a physician that you can call any time of the night, then yeah, you pay concierge medicine.
All right. Moving on to the next topic. Michael, you had this on your Instagram stories today, and I can't pull up the tweet because the author deleted it. I think she doesn't like attention and got too much attention. But
really? They deleted it?
Yeah, they deleted it, so I can't pull up the tweet.
Here, I'll just pull up my story here.
Okay, pull up the story.
I'll put it up on the screen so you can see it.
Technology.
You see
Ooh,
that?
there we go.
Is that the right way?
So I'll read it. So this person who I'm not going to name because they deleted it, so that's probably why. So it says, "Dear doctors at the airport in scrubs, no, you had time to change. Signed, also a busy MD." Now, Michael, even though you're not an MD, I think you can speak to this topic.
I think you should speak to.
Michael, I have a feeling that you're going to feel passionate about this because
this is right up Michael's alley.
I did feel passionate about it
because you feel like everybody should just look great all the time, no matter what and what their life is. So where do you stand? So Michael, where do you stand on wearing scrubs to the airport after work?
I have a strong feeling on this, as you can see. I've always kind of
You
felt
know where I
way.
stand.
Yeah, I've always felt this way, and a lot of people, not just me, feel this way. For one, I think a lot of people do it that I've seen that they have no reason to be doing it. Right? I mean, why are they wearing scrubs? Do you have time to change? Like, you're telling me you didn't have 10 seconds to put on another outfit to go to the airport? And I got a ton of comments. They're like, "No, you don't understand. Like, I book my flights sometimes and I get out of work and I have to run and I can only wear my scrubs." I'm like,
what?
It takes 2 seconds to put on another outfit. And also, my other biggest,
you wore to work.
the other biggest problem is, like, so if you're a surgeon or you're seeing patients in a clinic or whatever, I mean, you have people coughing all over you. You may have done procedures and have soiled scrubs. You're wearing those to the airport and then sitting on a plane with them. Like, it's kind of gross, just all day long. And I just don't really believe anybody that can't change. And if they're like, "No, you don't understand, I have to wear it," then why did you book a flight so close to like your time? You know what I mean? I don't understand. As a frequent flyer, I've never once even considered wearing scrubs to the airport.
That's
I think it's
like
just
your worst nightmare.
I think it's just poor planning. And also, sometimes people just want to be seen in scrubs. They're like, "Oh, by the way, I worked in healthcare." So
That's the thing for me. Is this
Just
is
so
I
you
am
know.
like vehemently opposed to this because purely for that situation, all it says is, "Look at me, I'm a doctor,"
yeah,
and there is nothing, and I repeat, nothing that makes me more angry than that
I
whole
know.
like mentality in medicine where people are like, "Look at me, I'm a doctor. Don't you know how much better I am than you?" And it's like, bro, you like
you're not
relax,
special.
okay?
You're
Yeah,
not special.
you studied a bunch more than most people, and you went
Yeah.
to school for a little longer. Like, just take a break. And it's
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the same. Like, I don't even wear my white coat in the hospital because I'm like,
Yeah.
it's just like
I haven't
I mean,
worn a
it's
white coat
also
in
why.
10 years.
I mean, it's also I'm a radiologist, so it's like by
Yeah.
nature, I'm like, don't look at me. It's like, everyone ignore me. I'm just walking down the street.
Yeah, I've seen
That's
many
like-
people. I've seen many people with like blah 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 MD, like wearing their scrubs in the airport, and I'm like, that's just like, I don't know. It's kind of crass in my opinion. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
So I'm
Or
going
your
to present the
hospital
counter.
gear.
I'm going to present
Yeah.
the counter opinion here.
Present the counter.
I flew to Sweden in scrubs, and it was
Ugh.
super comfortable.
Oh,
I can't believe you did that.
so are sweatpants.
It was
Yeah.
super comfortable. Had to go straight from work on an overnight flight. Scrubs are the most comfortable piece of clothing.
Did you change
They
your
weren't
scrubs?
dirty.
Okay.
They weren't dirty at all. 'cause
At
I
least
didn't
they
touch
weren't
anything
dirty.
early at work.
I'm still
So
disappointed.
that's the only issue that I see is them being dirty and soiled.
But
so if
why-
they're not dirty
But why even bring them?
because it's a very comfortable outfit, and
You're telling
you
me-
want to be comfortable when you travel.
No, I refuse on everything that a scrub top is more comfortable than a regular t-shirt or a sweatshirt. There's no chance.
Yeah. It's the same thing.
You can't make that argument. You can't make that argument.
No.
Okay, then.
But the
There you
pants,
go.
the pants are. The pants are as comfortable as it gets.
So scrub pants, if you want to wear scrub pants, they're basically pajama pants. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I've actually
Figs.
traveled. Yeah. I've actually traveled in Figs joggers before, just on the bottom. I mean, they're just brand new out of the washer. I just put them on because they're sweatpants. It was an overnight flight. And I didn't have sweatpants at the time. And joggers are kind of like, kind of cool looking. They work.
Were you hoping that people recognized you the whole time?
No, I wore them because they're black and you can't tell them that they're scrub, but you can't tell that they're scrub bottoms. They just look like joggers.
Yeah, right, asshole.
And then I wore like a sweatshirt on, like a Lulu sweatshirt on top or whatever, and it like actually looked good. But
see, that's
if you
like the figs are different than like surgical scrubs.
if you're only on a wide green surgical scrubs and the top to fly to
They're wide.
where'd you fly? Finland?
Sweden.
Sweden? I mean, you can't the top doesn't stretch. Like it's just
Dude,
like
it's terrible.
Knock. Scrub tops are not comfortable.
I had a lovely zip up hoodie on top of it, and
God.
me and SAS had a nice little night, just kind of chilling, getting some Swedish food.
I refuse.
It was great.
Were
So
they
why
like,
was it? Were you coming from work, Jim, or did you just
Yeah.
purposely put the scrub?
I had to go straight from work to O'Hare.
so not only is that a dumb decision for many reasons, but also now
you're a dumb decision.
now
Jim,
you have
you're an idiot.
now you just have a waste of clothes in your luggage. A scrub top, you can't use that at all. If you brought a sweatshirt, you could have at least
Taking
worn
up
that and
space.
worn it the whole time rather than having a scrub top, unless it was disposable, you threw it away, then I'm like, okay, I see that.
I didn't throw it away.
Okay, yeah. See, so now you had extra shirt for no reason.
I
Scrub.
like
Did
how
you-
Michael's point of interest for this too. He's like, they're so wide. he's like, they're so ill-fitting. That's part of the argument. not
my
the,
biggest problem
pretentious
is
It's all
nature.
look. Not once did he mention the cleanliness
Yeah,
and like
no,
the sanitation.
I did
he's
say
like
that. I did
sanitation,
say
the pretentiousness. He's
It's all
like, oh, they're
superficial.
ill-fitting.
No, I said that. I said, but I'm saying the shirt because like my lats, I know you have huge lats compared to me. And I know your lats make the shirt really tight, especially when you're like leaning forward. And the sleeves are they're not forgiving at all. Those like surgical scrubs.
Yeah.
I mean, their seams are tight.
Yeah.
There's no give to them. So it's not comfortable.
The starchiest material of all time.
Yeah. And they're like so
So-
starchy.
All right, so we have
Jim,
to
I hate
invoke
you.
the three-person dynamic here. So I am okay with it in certain situations. Michael is obviously not okay with it in any situation.
Right.
Tommy, what's your ruling?
I'm not okay with it. It's too
right.
pretentious for
Ooh.
me.
All right.
Can't handle it.
Jim, I have
to
one
1.
question. I have one question though.
Okay.
So did anybody ask if there's a doctor on the plane?
Why would they?
Or did anybody say, hey, is there a vet on the plane?
No. What? Why would they do that? I don't even get the joke.
Because you're wearing scrubs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we need a doctor. You're wearing scrubs.
Yeah. Somebody was choking and they said there's a doctor and I went like this.
Did you take your scrubs off?
Yeah. Oh my god.
I
You
was
know what's
like,
Where's
hey
Fido?
guys,
Where's Fido?
Yeah.
is
Is there an MRI?
it a choking dog? No. Okay. You guys, best of luck with that.
They're like, I thought you were a doctor. You're wearing scrubs.
No.
No.
DVM.
Yeah.
So stupid.
Unbelievable.
Can I
Unbelievable.
do the rest of the podcast from down here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the tip top.
You
of your
should.
hair.
You should.
All right. I think
I'm
we covered a lot of information here. Michael, what does the next week have in store for you, both social media and real life wise?
Social media.
Give us a preview of your content.
I did a video today and it failed miserably. So I had to completely scrap it. I'm not going to get into the details of it, but it was just know that I wasted a lot of time and got nothing out of it. So
Yeah.
we're back to the drawing board. And
Back to the drawing board.
Wait,
to
but
film
what
it.
makes you decide that you got to pull it off? Is it just like the
You
first
know what,
hour
honestly,
you're like,
yeah, I wrote like this script out and then I was doing it and I was like, all right, I feel like this is going to go well, but it all depended on what I talked about earlier. And then I did
Okay.
it. I did the first example, and then Adriana comes in and she's like, "You cannot do that." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." And basically just put the VidX on it and deleted the whole script.
Oh,
Yeah.
That
A lot of
that
wasted
bad, huh?
time. Yeah, a lot of wasted time. And I have no video for this week. So you're going to have to come up with something in the next 24 hours to do before my tea time tomorrow.
Oh my God.
And then mom comes in
It's
this
tea time.
weekend. So that's the problem is people don't understand. I'm going to go on a rant here. So people don't understand with YouTube stuff, you have to stay consistent. So I post every Wednesday and Sundays. And Jim, you know this too. Tommy, you don't because you don't do anything. But
Right.
you have to stay consistent and while working full time as a doctor, and then also trying to stay consistent. If you have a weekend plan, which I probably do every single time, I have to like film 3 videos up front to prepare me for the upcoming week, you know? So it's kind of annoying, but if I don't do that, then I just don't do anything any weekend ever. So basically that's just the way it is. And mom's coming this weekend. So we're going to see our niece for her 2nd birthday, which means I can't film anything for Saturday and Sunday, which means I have 2 days to prepare 2 videos going forward to kind of keep me up to speed.
Do a travel vlog.
I haven't done one of those in a while.
travel
Actually.
vlog.
Yeah, the travel vlog with the old Schmiedress.
I was gonna do a travel vlog for this weekend.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. But I hate taking my camera. It's kind of annoying, but maybe I will.
Hey, I mean, you got to do it for the content, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I got a quick anecdote real fast. For those of the longtime listeners that have listened to every episode, especially the beginnings, Jared Brinker, the infamous Jared Brinker, finally found out that he was on the podcast this past weekend.
Really? How?
Oh, wow.
How do you find out?
Davis was traveling to one of my best friends, Davis. He was traveling to Florida. He was staying with Jared for a night. And Davis listens every single week. He always listens to the podcast.
What's up, Davis?
Does he really?
Shout out, Davis.
He's a good friend, Davis.
Shout out, Davis, the only good friend.
Yeah,
I met Davis once. We had dinner a couple of years ago in Chicago.
Davis is a good dude.
Yeah.
But shout out to Davis, who's been the only person to listen to every episode. That's part of
he seemed okay.
Actually, speaking of someone who's good at golf,
I'm just kidding. Davis is a good guy, way better than Jared.
Yeah,
Jared
Davis is really good at
not
golf.
worthy of this podcast.
But Jared finally texted me. He goes, "I hear I'm on this podcast of yours a lot," and I was like, "Actually, every episode." And I was like, "We wanted to do it
Except
until
for
you
one.
figured it out." Yeah, except for one.
Now
He was
he's
like,
on.
"I'd listen to it." He goes, "I guess I have to check him out now." We were like, "Yeah."
Me and my Ford Bronco in North Florida. I listened to it with my iPod plugged in with an auxiliary cable into my Ford Bronco.
I still do that.
Oh my God, terrible.
Baby.
All right. So we have my daughter's 2nd birthday this weekend. I'm going to be hanging out with Dr. Cellini, the good one. Michael, Tommy is too good for us and not able to make it. I can't make it to see my niece's 2nd birthday. So we're going to be hanging out all weekend. It'll be super fun. I'll get some vlog content out of that for sure. And I'm just going to basically just rail on Michael nonstop for the entire weekend.
Sweet.
Bring him down. And I hope it ruins I hope it ruins everything that he's built.
Sounds
brotherly love.
All right, guys, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Please like and leave a comment, all that good stuff for the algorithm. Like and comment and subscribe and all that to Michael's channel, Dr. Cellini, my channel, DVM Cellini, and Tommy's channel at I'm an Idiot. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good week.
See you. Have a good one.